Hey y'all, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a walkthrough tutorial on how to do the butterfly friendship bracelet, otherwise known as pattern number 146981 on braceletbook.com. So depending on what version of the pattern you do determines what colors you're going to need, and that is super easy to see over on the website. But I'm going to be doing white for like the pole parts and then black outline of the butterfly, and the inside will be the pink color. So you can choose to start this bracelet however you like. You could just tie all the strings together in a knot. I personally think the way that I do it is a little more secure and will make the bracelet last longer if you are like me and you kind of just glue your bracelets on so they're not removable. So I don't know the name of this method, but essentially the color that you want to be the loop at the top is the color you're going to choose right now. And you're just going to do forward and backward knots until that loop is to your desired size. And it's really as easy as that. You just take the color you want and do backward and forward knots across all the strings. Once your loop is to your desired length, make sure you have both sides even and tape that down to the best of your abilities. It doesn't always stay really well under tape, so maybe if you use duct tape or have something heavy sitting on it, it will work better for you. Alright, so now we're ready to get started, and I do apologize if I'm not using the correct terminology or whatnot. I'm not a bracelet master, sensei, whatever you like to call it, so if I'm saying incorrect things, lo siento amigo, but bear with me. So the best way to go about this bracelet is to separate your strings as like a left side and a right side, or a left wing and a right wing. So if we are looking at the left wing, we are going to do exactly what we did for the loop, but just on one half. So you're going to take the white string and you are going to do a forward backward knot on all the strings. And then on the right wing, you're going to do the same thing, but in reverse. You are going to do a backward forward knot on all the strings on the right side. For row 2, we're not going to do anything, just make sure your white string ended up on the outside of your strings. For row 3, we are going to do the exact same thing again. So on the left wing, we are going to do a forward backward knot on all the strings using the white one. And on the right wing, we're going to do our backward forward knot on all the strings. Now it comes time to actually forming the butterfly. Alright, so we're on row 4 now, and you are going to leave that white string out of everything we do in this row. So put it up at the top and forget about it. So let's start with the left wing. You are going to take the black string and do 2 forward knots on all the other strings. So everything except the white. Now, on the right wing, you're going to do the same thing but backwards. So you're going to do 2 backward knots on all the strings except the white. Alright, let's move on to row 5. So for row 5, you are going to do 2 backward knots onto the white string with the black string. And then you are going to take the other black string and do 2 forward knots on the 2 remaining color strings. So in my case, the pink ones. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You're going to take the black string and do 2 forward knots onto the white string. And then take the other black string and do 2 backward knots onto the pink strings. Moving on to row 6, we're going to leave the black strings on the edge out of everything. So move them out of the way. And starting on the left wing, we are going to do a backwards forwards knot of the pink on the white. And then you're going to take the black string and do 2 forward knots onto the other pink string. Now let's look at the right wing. Again, we're leaving the black one on the edge out, and then we are taking one of the pink strings and doing a forward backward knot on the white string. And then we're going to take the black string and do 2 backward knots on the other pink string. For row 7, we are going to take that outermost black string and do 2 forward knots onto the white string. And then we are going to do 2 forward knots of the pink string onto the other pink string. And then this is where the butterfly wings join. So we are going to take the left side's black string and the right side's black string, the 2 most inner ones, and you're going to take the left one and do 2 forward knots over the right one. Now if we look at the rest of the right wing, we're going to take the outermost black string and do 2 backward knots onto the white string. and take the other pink string and do 2 backward knots onto the other pink string. Moving on to row 8, we are leaving the white string out of everything again. So for the left wing, we are going to take the black string and we're going to be doing a forward backward knot onto one of the pink strings. And then we are taking the other pink string and doing a forward backward knot on the other black string. Now let's move over to the right side. We're going to do the same thing but reverse. So we're leaving the white string out of it, and we're taking the black string and doing a backward forward knot onto one of the pink strings. And then we are taking the other pink string and doing a backward forward knot on the black string. Moving on to row 9, we are going to take the black string and do a backward forward knot on the white string. And then we are going to do 2 backward knots on the pink strings. And then the 2 black strings are going to meet again, so again, taking that left black string and doing 2 forward knots onto that right black string. Then we're going to take the black string and do a forward backward knot onto the white string. And then do 2 forward knots of the pink on pink. Watching this back, I realized I did backward knots. Don't do that. Do 2 forward knots. I don't know what I was thinking. For row 10, we are leaving the white out of it, so move that out of the way. We're going to be taking the leftmost black string and we're going to be doing a forward backward knot on one of the pink strings. And then we are taking the other black string and doing 2 backward knots onto a pink string. Moving over to the right wing, we are going to remove the white, and we're going to take that rightmost black string and do a backward forward knot on one of the pink strings. And then we are taking the other black string and doing 2 forward knots on the other pink string. So at this point, we have created our first butterfly. We are now going to work on making the connectors. For row 11, we are going to be taking the white string and only the 1 black string and do a forward backward knot on that. And then you're going to take the black string and do backward knots on the rest of the remaining strings. Moving over to the right wing, once again, we're going to take that white and we're going to be doing a backward forward knot on the black string. And then we are taking that other black string and doing 2 forward knots onto the remaining 2 pink strings. I'm not exactly sure if that is how the pattern is meant to be read. That is how I interpret it based off of all the other bracelets I've done. If you know a different way to do this, please let me know. And then after that, you just do your backward forwards of the white to get the desired length of the ropes or the poles or whatever you want to call the white border that connects each of the butterflies. You could do as many backward forward knots as you want to have as much space or as little space as you want in between each butterfly. Now this is only my second time making this bracelet. The first one I made, I gave to my mom, and what I've learned is that it's really hard to make the butterflies look exactly the same. You can see here I did a second butterfly off camera because I really couldn't see what I was doing during this when I was filming the first butterfly, so I was shocked that it had turned out somewhat decent. But you have to be patient with yourself. I would recommend try using the same brand of strings because those will be the same thickness and whatnot. I believe in this video I used 2 different brands, maybe 3 different brands. You can see the pink one is slightly thicker than the rest and the black may be a little bit thinner, but I think you will get the best results if you're using the same brand. It also depends on your tension and stuff like that. So I'm still definitely working on perfecting that myself, especially for a bracelet like this. It can be quite tricky. If you guys do end up making this bracelet and posting a picture to Bracelet Book or anywhere on social media, make sure you tag me. I would love to see what colors you guys chose and how it went for you. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them below and I will do my best to respond to them in a timely manner. So make sure to like and subscribe before you head out, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye!